Good morning, everybody. The eagle-eyed amongst you might notice quite a few things have suddenly gone missing from in here. And the reason, sorry, it's a bit messy, it's the Abbeydale Road Beer Festival this weekend, and so over there we were getting loads of beers ready for them, and over there I've got some in the fridge cooling down, etc. But what I want to show you is this. What do you make of that then? Big shed. So Simon and Dawn came up last week, and within a couple of days from the pile that was down there, we managed to put it all together. How good is that? I'll put a little time lapse. Not sure where. Might put it up here somewhere. Of Simon and Dawn putting the roof on. There's no point me trying to get in their way. But yeah, it's like poetry in motion. So this is going to be store for stuff that is not needed in here when we run as a tap room. So this, it's designed so that this will wheel out and into here to store. Now I'll put this little lip on here. It didn't actually sort of stick down there, but I'm going to round that off a little bit because it was difficult getting that trolley over. But this will, with two of us, we can just maneuver it out into here and all of that into here, leave space for the tap room. So all these chairs I've just put in here temporarily. Part of the big reason that I wanted to have a separate store was so that all of these cleaning materials, and some of these are quite aggressive, so we've got caustic, we've got peracetic acid, Persid, we've got nitric acid, or it's nitric phosphoric acid, and then down here we've got Cosclean Plus. All of those fairly serious chemicals. That one's not, that one's just glycol. But I wanted them as far away from any ingredients as possible. So it's great, they're going to be perfect in here. I don't have to worry about it freezing in here because there will be a tiny little like a greenhouse heater in here. So I'm going to have to look at some proper storage solutions, and then hopefully that can then slide underneath whatever shelving we use. So at the moment, this is what I put the cans in after we've gone through the canning process. They go in there just to dry off. So what we've got, this back bit here, probably out to here, so that's 4 foot, maybe out a little bit further. I think that's about 6 foot to here. And I'm going to put a partition in here, or here, wherever. Spray foam insulate this, and I've got and have had for a very long time. This is something else that we managed to get done this week. We've got a cellar cooler. This came from our Jack. Hi Jack, if you still... Hi Jack. Hello Jack, if you still watch this stuff. So what we did, we made that frame there out of the same material that we made the brewery frame from. So it's 40mm mild steel box section. So then we bolted that to bits of the gate, well, the frame next to the gate, and then we put that outside heat dump, condense, whatever you call it, on a pallet on a forklift truck, lifted it up, and then Mark and Simon, I'll probably put a little bit of a video or some photos in, were up ladders and they'd agreed, without telling me obviously, that if it started going they were just going to let it go. I don't blame them either. So the indoor unit will be up here somewhere. Now you might notice that this whole floor is, it's not level. I mean, it's not too unlevel at the back. So hopefully if I put I'm going to put a shelving unit there and a cellar cooler on the top. So this will then be our cellar. I reckon I could probably get 8 kegs, maybe 9 here in this part. I'm going to get some of those new kegs of ours and some cornies, and then shelves here for cans, just to keep cans cool, because I've been very, very worried, very concerned that in the hot weather I didn't want the cans to be getting too hot. So that's good. I feel a lot more optimistic now. So the grand scheme is, let's move this. This is going to be my portable canning station at some point, I think. The grand scheme is this will be the bar. And keep the we've got the glass washer there, keep the sink, hand wash, etc. Taps along here. I think I've mentioned this before. This little setup with the 2 bright tanks and the chiller will probably, I would have thought, go on another little trolley like that, so it can be moved around out of the way, and then here just have optics and taps and stuff for the bar. Probably going to keep these here because they look good, and there's a step down here, so you need to hide the step. And then those who remember from a couple of years ago, that the brewery that I bought from down in London, we're going to get those 4 500 litre, well, I think they're 600 litre tanks here, and then have the brew house set up here. I've been talking to Chris over in Retford about how we might do that, because at the moment, I mean, this brew house is good and I'll continue using it, but there are limitations, and the limitations are, you know, maximum output of 250 cans, which in a brewery sense, I mean, apart obviously from lifting the grain in and buying more hops, etc., it takes the same amount of time to brew 500 litres as it does 120 litres, and along with that, it takes the same amount of time to clean in place a 500 litre fermenter as it does a 120, 30, 40, whatever we can get in those SS Brewtech fermenters. So yeah, for the core beers I'll be using a bigger kit, and this will sort of be like the normal development kit. That obviously poses the question, what do I do with this that I built with Chris about 4 years ago? This, I mean, it's a good mash tun from Ian Powell over in North Wales, Powell Brewing, and then we've got the copper and the HLT that use these standard sort of like central heating type elements. So I don't know, I like it, I love the look of it, because it's really kind of Heath Robinson. That over here, this looks a little bit kind of, I don't know what the term, you know, a little bit too clinical. So yeah, I don't know, but I should imagine this will be going out in the shed as well. We shall see. But I'm going to have to maximise the space in here. So today I'm going to start by looking at what we're going to put on the floor, so we're going to seal it first with an epoxy sealant, one that's fairly tolerant of odd little oil drips that have been here from the big purple truck. Do you remember Grumble camper? It was a Land Rover, and Land Rovers always mark their territory. And then I'm going to spray foam at least this back wall, just to see what sort of coverage I'm going to get from those. That it's only cans, it's not 2-pack mix, so you put a can in a gun, upside down in a gun, and spray like that. So I'm going to see what sort of coverage I get. It needs to be about 5 mil, not 5 mil, about 3 centimeters thick. So I think you get 1.5 per spray. Do a couple, or I might bring it out a bit more. But I'm going to put some battens probably here. I did think about spray foaming it and then looking at where I'm going to put the battens, but yeah, anyway, I'm wibbling on now. So yeah, it's a good week. We've also replaced the CCTV. So thing is, and those who don't know Simon, and well, Simon and Dawn really, those who don't know Simon, we always used to call him the Duracell kid, because he just, I don't know, he just never seems to run out of energy. It's brilliant. I mean, I'd be still lying in bed, sort of complaining if I'd spent the same amount of energy that he seems to have. So that's that anyway. So that just needs bringing down and then through the side for the internal unit. Yeah, a good week. And you know, when friends stroke family come visiting, it's always nice to a nice excuse, bad excuse, but nice excuse to go out, try different restaurants. We tried 3 restaurants and food was fine, service was shit, and it wasn't because of the serving staff. It was because they were short-staffed, and so when you've got restaurants that are short-staffed or staffed with people with very little experience, then the pressure's on the rest of the staff, and it's not really fair. So I could give it, you know, I would love to give the restaurant 5 stars, but in all, with a clear conscience, I daren't, because yeah. So yeah, right. Anyway, I think that's probably me whippling on more than enough for today. So a good productive week, and one step closer now to getting the kind of like club stroke tap room open. So that out, this will go out. I'll be keeping this because we'll be doing food here. This is on wheels. Well, it's all on wheels apart from this one. So initially, until the cold room's finished, I'll be using the keysers for dispensing and slushies. The next stage, I think, is going to be, once that is completed out there, get the bar done. So I think Simon said he's thinking of coming up in October, half term in October, so maybe get the trolley built for that, so that it can roll around a little bit. But yeah, I definitely feel more positive now. It's been a long old haul, and things like, you know, just planning how everything's going to bolt together, and that linear narrative of what we need to do and when we need to do it has been it's been interesting, but we're there, and the next phase has begun. So until next time, obviously, you know, I always say, whatever you're doing, you do it carefully. You take care of yourself and those you care about. And yeah, until next time, when hopefully I'll have put a bottom to that door. Cheers. A recent study has claimed that humans eat more bananas than monkeys. Well, I'm not surprised. I can't remember the last time I ate a monkey.